Now you're going to be behind the box.
I am behind the box.
The man behind the box.
Hello, everyone. Redneck Game Gawd, director of the Council of Intrepid Adventurers, and your boy Sugoi here. We're going to do an unboxing video. Unbox of Warcry. This is the new Warcry set that just released today from Games Workshop. We also, just to show off, we got the commemorative series Terminator Chaplain. This is some of the freebies here that you get on Warhammer Day, which happened to coincide with Warcry being released today. We also have other freebies.
A swag bag.
Swag bag backpack.
Comes with pouches. And then you also get the super sick art that if you were lame and you didn't get the super sick art, well, you don't get to enjoy it. Except for this little viewing pleasure, little slideshow.
Just zoom in real close.
Yeah. And then take a screenshot.
Pinch and squeeze. Pinch and squeeze.
And last but not least, I think, yeah, there you go. That one there.
Yes.
All right.
So, Warcry.
Yeah.
Big heavy box. I'd say it weighs, what, 7-8 pounds from it?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that's at least a solid 8. That's a solid 8-pound box.
From what we understand, this is a little different from the first version of Warcry, which was all the outdoor adventures. This actually includes rules for Catacombs inside it, which is more dungeon diving. The back of the box, kind of show you what that is. Shows the dungeon diving, 2-sided board. Terrain for both are included, which is a value at half the price.
Yeah. So, Scott, as someone who is new to the Warhammer universe and whatnot, would you say that this is probably a beneficial purchase for someone that's new getting into the hobby, or is this more of a veteran's purchase here?
This includes everything to start playing the game. It includes 2 factions.
Okay.
The terrain, the boards, the dice, the measuring tool, everything you need to play is in this box.
Okay.
So I'd say, yeah, it'd be good for a beginning player. Like I said, you can supposedly...
Good starting thing to get your feet wet.
Good starting thing to get your feet wet. So
nice.
Plastic is off. Lifting the cover. Let's just put that right there. That way we can scoop.
Nice.
And
look at all that you get to cut out.
Ton of plastic.
If you've been stuck at home and haven't been able to do anything, well, here you go. You're going to have at least, well, if you're me, 3 years. But if you're not me, probably at least 2 weeks worth of cutting and putting things together.
So this comes with 2 factions. One is a newer fire faction. I'm not sure who they're affiliated with. The other one is the Canites, the Dark Elves. So I'll let you give some impressions of what you see there.
Okay, so first off, no surprise coming from Games Workshop. A lot of this is super detailed. Really like the textures that they put in here. They did a really good job with the chainmail and anything that's supposed to be scaled versus actual mail. You can really see a strong difference here.
Lots of little fiddly bits too.
Yeah.
These are definitely not your mama's orcs.
No.
You can see all the little tiny bits.
But if we're going to do that, you can definitely see these orcs. I don't know if it's showing up on there. Look at that. Boom. They definitely took them to the bakery. Call these orcs souffle because their buns are rising. That's some cake right there.
Yeah. I think that's the Fire Clan here.
Well, is this the Fire Clan?
Yeah, the buns. Yeah.
Yep, then they are definitely some toasty buns on those Fire Clans. Look at that.
We got some terrain. This looks like the outdoor terrain with the bell and other items. Lots of skeletons in cages, typical Warhammer world dark fantasy.
Let's take a look at this. Yep, you got your skelly boys in cages. You got a bell with a skeleton on it.
So while some people were complaining that it didn't have as many miniatures, like humanoid playing pieces, it comes with a ton of terrain for both maps.
Nice.
Terrain paints up pretty quick, which is also nice. Here's more spiky bits, because you never have too many spiky bits with Chaos and Games Workshop. Battles happening at 8 points in the world of Sigmar. Lots of portcullises.
So Redneck, while we're getting everything out of here, since you have been involved in the universe a lot longer than a lot of us have. Do you kind of know the backstory of what's going on here, what this game is starting to illustrate, or is this brand new to something?
Well, this is a continuation of the first Warcry. So, in the Age of Sigmar, when basically things went to shit,
Yeah.
the world plunged into chaos and everything got more factionated. And it basically, the normal Warhammer world went to the Great Parch map that you see there. And different factions of chaos, Slaanesh was gone at the time. Different factions of chaos started warring at this place called the 8 Points. And basically what happened is Games Workshop did a purge of all the old stuff.
Okay.
Well, realizing that, they've now brought a lot of the old stuff back as old Empire figures that have all bonded together to form another faction. I'm not too up on that part.
Gotcha.
And that takes us through the sprues. So there's really, 3 sprues of actual miniatures?
Yeah, I'm just counting all the terrain. Yeah, there's like 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7.
7 good-sized sprues
of
just terrain.
And then I'd call this what?
2 and
3/4.
Yeah,
2 and 3/4.
that's all the miniatures
of minis.
Redneck Game Dog too.
Game Dog is here. You can't do anything without Game Dog. So Game Dogs make things better.
So we've come down now to the second divider, which will be counters and books and maps and stuff.
Does that open up? Let's take a look here.
What's on the other side? Oh, it's just more art on the other side. The cover art.
Yeah, more art. That way, if y'all want to get a better look at that, them Fire Boys look evil. They got samurai mask. Snowdy, get on that.
So we'll open up the counters and board here. It uses the same size boards as first edition. I think it's 22 by 30, the board size.
And the cool thing, this is double-sided.
It is double-sided. So, like I said, this is good for beginning players who want to get into Warcry. It's all the counters. Ruler. You can use a standard ruler too, but this one's all marked up with big fancy letters. It looks like it has attack distances and things like that, but I haven't really got rules on it yet. And the board itself. A lot of players like doing this first because you can play your standard Age of Sigmar armies in Warcry. There's rules for every army. Big board. And 2-sided. I'll let Vanna White over here hold that for a second.
Look at this. Now, look at this.
As long as he doesn't rip it in half on the first
same
day.
thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at this. Thanks, Pat Sajak. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Just gonna fold it in there. It's
This
not
is-
because I couldn't figure out how to fold it back to just a tiny square. It had nothing to do with that. Nothing.
So, like I said, Warcry is a good entry level for fantasy players because it allows you to play smaller groups as opposed to the standard Warhammer rules, Age of Sigmar and such, where you need an army to play.
Right.
So these are kind of the skirmish rule set. Here, I'll let you pop those.
Cool deal. I like cards. Let's take a look here. I really love the model paint that they have. So each card, I'm sure we'll be able to go in more detail with Redneck here. But if y'all can see that, has their actions, but then instead of just character art, it has the model built, put together, and professionally painted. So that way you can kind of have an idea for what maybe you would want to do for the model.
It has the, basically, how to put your stuff together book. It has instructions. A lot of people criticize some of the newer models and they're not as modifiable or changing poses. Again, some of the newer models are aimed more at getting people into the hobby. You can always, if you're an experienced modeler, you can always chop heads, move things around, green stuff. But they give very comprehensive instructions. I do see some variations in like weaponry. Great. there, where you can swap different weapons if you want to choose. It gives you full instructions on all the terrain. But again, to bring new people into the hobby, we look to keep things as simple as possible.
One thing that I'm kind of noticing here, and Redneck, you let me know if you would disagree, but it seems to be who are these boys?
The K-Knights?
Yeah, the K-Knights. They're a little bit more Western inspired. However, from what I've seen scrolling through here, a lot of this Fire Clan seem to have a lot of Eastern style.
Yeah, they look like it. Yeah, especially the masks and stuff.
Yeah.
So, in the game, you get K-Knight Shadowstalkers, which is like the Medusa. Dark Flame Warlocks. Shroud Blades, that makes up the K-Knights. The Scions of Flame, looks like they have the Blazing Lord, the Brazen Champion, Fireborn, Immoliators, and Inferno Priests. As well as, Fireborn Initiates. So, like I said, the put together book looks pretty simple.
You also have team cards for both. So that way you can lay out, see who you have, and kind of the rules for each of them.
Yep. Each faction has certain powers they get.
Yeah.
Which is what's on the back here.
Gotcha.
And based on the symbols on their cards.
Hi, Redneck and Gawd. How are you doing, dog? Hello. You're part of the video now?
Yeah, he's
stole the show.
He's the drumming music. Based on the faction, which is the first symbol, and the type of figure it is, if it's a leader, if it's an infiltrator, blah, 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 blah. That's what the second one is. And if you look at the cards, on their card, they'll have a corresponding icons, which gives them a special ability in the game.
Gotcha.
So next, we have the Catacomb book, which is going to be the Dungeons of Chaos book and how to play indoor scenarios. As always with Games Workshop, all full color, all nice pages, all put together well.
Glossy.
Glossy. It is 65 pages with a cheat sheet on the back for the Shadow Stalkers. Looks like it has scenarios, describes each faction, shows paint jobs. Typical Games Workshop flair, but you pay for that flair. As we know, Games Workshop's not the cheapest stuff to get into, but they have a high quality product.
And from a newbie's perspective, I know I've been in a couple of videos, but I'm still very new getting into the Games Workshop and wargaming, would you call it culture?
Yeah, it's a culture.
Definitely a culture. This is really cool because not only does this provide you with how the models quote-unquote should look, but it also gives you inspiration on how to put these models together, and really it makes it a lot less intimidating, and especially since they're showing a lot of the armies in this book. For instance, there's a picture in here with some Skaven. That just lets me know, hey, listen, we have rules for all the other armies. We can get them in here. And you're not just locked into the 2 that you bought with the game.
In the coming weeks, they're going to be releasing books for all Warhammer, Age of Sigmar groups and factions to be played in the game. There's going to be 4, tomes that they're going to release to allow people to bring in their figures, no matter which faction they're with. So you can play your Skaven, you can play your Ogres, you can play High Elves, etc., etc. Also on the Games Workshop site, I've noticed that most of the Warcry stuff, if you go out to their website, they do have the information so you can play your factions in Age of Sigmar when you start expanding your armies and adding figures.
That's really cool.
The last piece it looks like included in the box is the core rulebook. It looks like it was updated for a second printing here in 2020. So it's probably got some updates, changes, clarifications. It looks very similar to the old book. It has all the old factions from the first set.
Okay.
And it looks like the scenarios are pretty similar.
Got Fishbowl Dude on the front.
Iron Golem.
Yeah, Iron Golem. I'm going to use all the wrong names. You can yell at me in the comments down below. I don't care.
Yes, I know. Thank you. You got to be involved. Look over there. Say hi to everybody. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the only thing that gets views. I have to include you in all my videos. Yes, I do. You're good. So
I'm just busy looking at the artwork right now. It's breathtaking.
Games Workshop's always been on the good end of art. So anyway, we'll do another video once we actually play through the new rules, check things out, and put the figures together. So we may have some painting demos coming up. Mm-hmm. We'll show Sugoi gluing his face to the table.
It's happened before.
It has.
I'm not proud.
Yeah.
But it has. Now, are we going to diverting to something else? Are we going to be opening up this bad boy, or are we waiting for Director Lurch to get here?
Yeah, we can open up that bad boy too.
Alrighty.
Being Warhammer Day, they have different price points, and if you spend all the monies, you got all kinds of cool stuff. So
you had to spend all the monies.
All the monies, yeah. So picking up the Warcry box set and the new character.
There we go.
The new character pretty much got you to the point where you got all the freebies, which is an empty tin box, but it's cool. Talks about being plasma ammo.
All your rejects in there. All the models that you mess up.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's just me.
And you got the backpack. One of the things we did pick up that also released today was the Terminator Chaplain Tarentus. Now, I don't play Space Marines very often.
Right.
However, we all know now it's not new in box.
No.
One sprue. Easy assemble characters. Not going to be a lot of modification to it unless you just are advanced modeler and decide you want to repose. The base looks awesome. Very high detailed base.
Man, he's got axe with wings on it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Is that not an axe?
It's more of his. Basically, it's more like a club that gives him.
Oh, it's a club.
An officer power type thing. It shows his status.
Nice.
And he has a bolter.
So,
sprue.
You know, I look at some of this stuff, and as a huge Sentai fan, I can't help.
Did you say hentai or sentai?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both. No, Super Sentai. I am a man of culture, though. I look at this, and I look at... it reminds me a lot of the villains that were in a lot of the Sentai series and whatnot, so it makes me kind of wonder if they drew some inspiration from Games Workshop, which I bet they did at some point.
Depends when that became popular. Games Workshop's been around for about 40 plus years at this point. So
I mean, not the very first Sentai stuff, but all the stuff that came to America, most definitely around the same amount of time. So
well,
yeah.
Being in England, they probably saw it before we did anyway.
Probably.
All right.
But looking at this and looking at the instructions, as a noob who has glued his face to the table, I feel confident I could put this together within a day. And so if that says anything, which I think it does.
Yeah. So, as always, leave comments below. We're going to post this on a couple of different mediums, including YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And hope to see you guys at the table. Time to get back to gaming.
Let us know what you want us to open up next time, and we'll do our best to make sure it gets here.
Yeah, we'll make sure Nick has the money.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.